Alright, go ahead and call the meeting to order. First we have roll call. Carolyn is not on Zoom, you said?
Correct.
Anna? Here. Tim?
Here.
Callie? Here. Sean?
Here.
Audrey? Here. Carl?
Here.
Keith?
Yep.
Alright, next thing is approval of the minutes from Wednesday, May 1st, 2024.
Move to approve.
I did have one question. Is it a 2% sales tax that goes to parks? It's 2%? I thought it was 1%.
That was 1%.
Wasn't it one and then another one?
There's another one, it's two 1%.
Is that,
Times
Two
1%.
1% sales taxes.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was 1% all along and then I saw the 2.
It's two different ones.
Two.
The 98 1%, is that part of it?
Yeah, I think so.
And then the
2000 and something.
19.
yeah,
And both are dedicated to Parks and Rec? Awesome.
And I think
lots
this,
of money.
I think the 98 one has a few other things it can be used for.
Oh, okay,
But the newer one, yeah. Parks and Rec, yeah.
great. Alright, did you move?
Move to approve. I think we need a second.
I'll second it. Second it. Alright, and then public comment? Any public comments? Nobody on Zoom? Alright, so we'll move on to discussion items. Birthday Girl Scouts, that's taken care of, we're not doing that
No.
as an agenda item.
No, taken care of. We were talking through email and it sounded like she wanted to come talk about something. I think she was just looking for some quick information, so
Perfect.
hash that out.
So Carl, you were gonna reach out to her, is that what I gathered from the
Yeah, I'll reach out to both of the
preliminary
organizations,
discussion
yeah.
thing? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, typically scouts just reach out to us. And we look at that. So, but this
Yeah.
is different now that we know.
Yeah, and for y'all's information, I've been contacting Chris Wingard, I think is the scout leader. And he's just supposed to be talking to the scouts, getting a list of materials and things like that together. And then he should contact Keith at some point and
Great.
give a presentation and a proposition. So,
Whoa. Like town proposition type thing? Or no?
I think that was too
Like
a
high of a
proposal?
term that I used, a
Maybe just a
proposal,
proposal.
just a proposal, not a proposition. A proposal for any funds that the town can match or something
I
like that,
think I was thinking a resolution.
not a resolution, yeah. Proposal,
Sure.
proposal, project proposal.
He's gonna come here and share it?
That's what I told him to do so that it's all official.
Okay.
Because if the town is going to match, it needs to be
Oh, really?
sort of official with
Okay.
numbers and preliminary amounts. So I told him to contact you, so hopefully this follow-up email I send will kind of get the ball rolling a
Has the
little
board
bit.
talked about this at all?
They were in favor of working with him.
Okay.
Obviously I can't say anything until the actual vote happens, but everyone basically said we've worked with the scouts in the past, and so if they come before us with the numbers, then we can debate
Gotcha.
if and how much we would wanna match.
Got it. I will say when they come to us, we don't tell them.
Right,
At first, Kenyon, I think was the first one we matched a little bit or something to help finish hers. And hers was tied to the pollinator resolution. So, okay. That's good to know.
well, I told him to contact you guys to just be in front of the outdoors section first. If you don't care, then I can just tell him to either choose to come here or just go ahead and bypass and go to the board. It's kind of up to you guys.
Bring it here.
I think it'd be interesting to
Yeah.
hear about.
I like making them do work.
Except Audrey knows.
But that's the goal, because they are,
They have, and for those projects, they have to get a considerable number of hours. I think you were 60 hours in. 50. 50?
wow.
Yeah, they have to have a substantial amount of time in.
Maybe 60. I was thinking how much was required.
50 is required, yeah. So.
Okay.
Alright. Next on the agenda is the tour recap.
Yeah, just thought I'd throw that on there. If there's any extra comments for the tour anyone wants to put in, is there any comments of this past tour, anything, do we want to go on another tour later in the year? See other things? I was thinking we probably should do
I think we should go check out the rookery at some point.
recreation center.
And the adaptive park when it's further along,
Mhm.
maybe in the cemetery extension, I'd like to see those.
And if there was ever any resolution of the last meeting when the gentlemen were here talking about parks, open space land that was owned within TPC, if we could figure out what that means and what that looks like. I know that looking at some maps, I've seen like the tip of the what's called the rookery inside of TPC is actually Town of Berthoud owned, it looks like, from their maps of development. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like on
Yeah.
the, where the HGTV houses are kind of out from there. That looks like there's some land that's owned by the Town of Berthoud, and I'm just curious, I think it's maybe a discussion item or something to be thought about leading up to, I know that there's a lot of discussion right now around gating that property, that neighborhood, and if there's Town of Berthoud owned land in there, what that looks like and what the potential is for that. Because that might change the discussion around how gated that community gets. Is that a diplomatic way to say that?
Yeah, I know, it kind of gets.
Cause I know that discussion was pulled out off of the board agenda this last meeting or 2 meetings ago.
2 meetings ago.
Yeah, and to be determined when it will go back. That was just something when they brought that up, I went back and looked at some of the developer maps that are out there from TPC, and it does look like there's some town-owned open space out there.
Show, see if I can. The assessor site,
So at the end of where Waterway Court is, that property on the end there, apparently, and I can send everybody that map that I found. Like just that kind of bubble out there.
Peninsula thing.
Mm-hmm. Apparently that is marked as owned property.
yeah, the thing is, with these herons right here,
Right. Not much can be done in terms of development.
right, I don't think we have any plans, I know our only plans have been right here. Over here,
Here it is.
and then there's, around here is the trail the town put in. But that is all maintained by them, we don't maintain any of that.
So right, this end piece here is all Town of Berthoud, it looks like. Is that right? Right there?
Heron Lakes investment. I'm saying Heron Lakes investment.
And there's. So the trail that runs on that south side of that peninsula there, you're saying that that's all. That's all maintained by them, but is it Town of Berthoud? Cause that's also what the map says. Their development map.
Right, I believe it's considered Town of Berthoud property, that's just maintained by the metro.
But it is Town of Berthoud property.
All the trails are for sure, considered public. Cause I know up here it's like, it's within town right away, so it's still public.
Right, but if, like any of this stuff that's like regional trail connections and all of that, I just didn't know what the implications were if they.
Oh, what, did you guys do the gate thing?
No, it got postponed. Heron Lakes asked that it get postponed for a couple meetings.
Got it. So, it'd be great to get up here and go around. Check out that trail. We made it out to the, when we went last year,
What's that?
Route 3 last year. What we call River 3.
Did you guys use
Yeah.
Bridgeport there to access it or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, technically this guy.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, this isn't built. Bridgeport's not built yet, but there's a gravel access road right here.
No, that's close to the public though right now, right?
Yep. It's coming up, I'm told it's almost ready to go for bid for the North Parkway Trail that we're calling this portion. It crosses Vantage, goes up Tenney, and then we go around to this road. So it's almost ready to go out for bid.
And with Lone Tree Reservoir, is there any plan for boater access there for the public? Is that done for good?
There is public access, but you have to pay a substantial fee.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. But it used to be, there was, I think it's that pig parcel there where wasn't there actually like a state launch ramp or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there is public access, but it's, I think, it's like $600 a year or something.
Privately managed?
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
And it's only a limited number too, I think, cause they open it up to the TPC or the Metro District, then the TPC members, then the public.
It used to be different though. It used to be able to, yeah.
Right. So I hear it all the time. It's a huge loss segment.
Yeah, it
Loss of
used
the
to,
community.
when we first moved here, we kind of.
So I heard the Rotary, what were the other spots?
The adaptive park when it's further along, the cemetery extension. And then what Lauren was saying, any land that is in that TPC area that like what's Berthoud's, what does Berthoud own, just trying to understand what that whole area is or.
Okay.
I have a question. Keith, is there any public access now to the trail that's owned by the town?
I believe the road comes in right here. I think there's a trail leading to this trail. There's a trail along here, right?
There's a really small opening between two houses. I actually went and drove out there just to kind of get an idea and walked the trail. I don't think that the trail going like this way is developed. I think the trail coming this way is, but I feel like that side just stops. There's a dead end. Like where that flat piece, that
So the
horizontal flat piece is, at the end of that, I feel like it stops
east or the west side?
to the
Has
west.
trail.
So if you were, cause you walk out between two houses up there in the crook of that, yep, see that little walkway up?
It goes right there.
Well, no, if you go to the north, there's actually an access
Right there, I see it.
to the right there, that right there, that's a pathway that you can park right there in front of people's houses. Which is what we did, and then you walk it down and then you can go, if you come down that, you can go down this way. And that trail goes all the way, I believe, but if you go the other way, I think it stops. Yeah, I don't think that's developed yet, I think it only goes a real short way.
Yep, so I guess we only did it right here.
Yeah, and then
Supposed
that's,
to go. I don't think that's done, right? Is that what you're saying? Is it like a soft surface?
well, I
thing?
thought that this blue line was supposed to be the trail, is that not what you're saying?
No, I think it'd just be right.
Cause in the pictures, it's a purple trail that goes all the way around the peninsula.
So this would just show it going up around. Maybe.
Wish I could send you this.
So yeah, tow truck is not responsive to us.
The town owns that strip of land all the way around the peninsula. According to the Larimer County GIS site.
I'm not sure how that works.
I think what you were saying, Lauren, is that that west side of this blue trail doesn't exist,
Right.
isn't
And
developed.
Right. Well, yeah, it goes to I don't even think it goes that far as I feel like there was a gate or like a fence up. Maybe where you came in between those two houses on the north side, I think there's a gate, yep, going right there, like right around there. I don't think you could go very far at all. And it's like fenced off with some kind of, and it's temporary fencing, but it's fenced off.
I'm not spreading rumors. I don't know if something happened with the lift station, cause there's a lift station right here.
Oh, like,
Like a sewage lift station.
oh, okay, so maybe there was a reason they,
Yeah, there might have been something that happened right there that was getting worked on. So I always thought it connected around and then connected up to the sidewalks in some way. And then you get into the widened sidewalk trail that feeds up north. Eventually, we will be coming down this way with a nice regional trail that will connect all the way down. And the people would probably stop using this trail as much, but be a dedicated trail coming through here.
I'm just, if that's the regional trail connection, that's what I've been thinking about with this gating of the community, like this talk about that, and we don't know what's gonna happen with that, but if you gate off a community and then have a regional trail going through there, it just feels like it's gonna deter people from using a regional trail that if they're coming up to a gatehouse to gain access. If that's our regional, cause that's what's gonna connect across County Road 14 and up to Loveland, right?
Yeah, right in here. So they'll come straight down from this driveway, it looks like.
Eagle Vista is right there, is that correct?
Somewhere, so they'll come down, I think it kind of meanders through here.
So it's not gonna follow Heron Lakes Parkway?
No, well, I think it eventually meets up down here. Was it TBC Parkway?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it comes back in through a new neighborhood, totally new. And can't remember where it comes down at. It eventually does.
Just maybe another layer of things to think about with the board looking at it in terms of gating and,
Well, and whatever happens with the gates, the trails aren't gated, it's only the roadways.
I understand, my thing is, my concern is the visual understanding of if you're coming up to a manned gatehouse and on a bike, walking, whatever, you're gonna feel like you have to stop and check in because you're not just gonna blow past a gated entrance. And so I think that that's part of the issue is having that feeling that like our regional trail system is going right through this neighborhood and so it'd be nice to have a better understanding of what the town has and know, like even if we could get out and walk. Cause like I said, I walked it was at night, but I went out and walked along that trail and it's just to kind of get an idea of what that actually looks like out there.
Nice.
That might be a good part to tour.
Well, I think one of the things that was mentioned in those comments also is that at the time when the regional trail connection is complete, a lot can be done with signage that's sort of guiding people, identifying a regional trail and guiding them along and maybe at a gatehouse, even make a sign that is identifiable saying you are on the regional trail.
Yeah, I
So
think that's,
people won't feel.
I think it can pass into the neighborhood behind the gates, basically,
Mhm.
from the sides of the development, basically. I've seen it before in numerous developments, and there's no association with the gatehouse at all. The trail enters away from the gatehouse. That makes sense. To where, yeah, it's not an issue. So I'm guessing it would be something similar, but
I'll try to get that signage. I know we talked at one time with Port about the signage. We had to kind of a layout of how we were gonna do signage and make it show like, okay, public trail. But this is maintained by town, and then when you get to another section maintained by the HOA, it would just kind of have a different signage look. So it's still an open trail to walk on, but the town's not maintaining it, so.
Don't call us if there's a problem.
Yeah. So
Phone number on the.
it's something me and Ann Johnson, our community developer director, we talk about it like every month, cause there's supposed to be a comprehensive sign plan put together, I think as part of the comp plan. One of the plans. And we gotta start dialing that in, basically. That's why I know, like, I didn't cover the town trails and signage because we wanted to make sure it all matches whatever. Some uniform standard we're gonna follow.
You know, some Fickle Farm we drove by today, there's the one brown sign that says, I think Fickle Farm Trail on it.
Yeah,
Was
That's
that-
nice.
I like it too.
Yeah.
It's a national park-ish kind
Yeah.
of just, yeah.
and that one, I mean, we kind of approved that one. Those houses, that's the front of their house along the trail.
Right.
And so, it's something weird with deliveries, they don't deliver to the back of the house, they want to deliver to the front of the house. So that's, I don't know if they actually go on the trail to deliver the packages or not, but it's something unique about the addresses right there and how things get delivered. So that had to be put up so it could show. I don't think they have a road, they're on Fickle Farm Trail, but the road behind their house is not called Fickle Farm Trail, I don't think. It's an alley.
Oh, cause
it's like Something- their
access.
Yeah, it's something goofy that I hadn't seen that till this year.
Well, they have something similar to that, don't they, with in Collins Park, around that big green field. There's a bunch of patio homes around one side and they just have an alley behind them.
It might be the same there, I've never heard of it, be an issue with deliveries, but.
Where the retention, like kind of retention pond looking area is, there, all those houses along that one side are all alley access with a pathway in front of them.
We have a couple of those brown and white signs going up to show where the bike park's at too. So they're going on 56. That's what CDOT made us. Guidelines for that. I like the brown and white ones too, they're simple. Anything, so. And there's a great one out to Wolf. The whole history of the property. See where that could be. And town is gonna develop around it at some point. I think for us, I don't know this next, I mean, ideally with the property, we start working on conceptual designs, I don't know when that's gonna happen. with that property yet. We'll conceptually designed everything else.
With that property, you said that the deed says that it needs to be recreation. Because, I mean, part of it is agriculture now. Does that have to go away?
I don't think so, I think it says, let's see, farm use, the parcel 2 and 3 may also be used for farming purposes
Okay.
until such time as the necessary improvements for allowed uses are constructed upon parcel 2. Parcel 3. And to the extent such farm uses shall be deemed allowed uses. Sounds like it's to the farm, yeah.
I think it would be great to get a conceptual plan put together. I know, it sounded like, so I went out, and visited with Sarah and Butch this past month, but it sounded like they had done some conceptual plan work, I don't know, a couple years back. But it'd be nice while they're still around to like get their input and put something together, even if it sits on the shelf, just to have something and kind of capture maybe some thoughts and ideas they have for the property and input from whoever else too.
Okay.
So I think it'd be nice to just have that at some point.
is there, I mean, it sounds like there's not really a plan in place per se, but there's that agricultural, I call it, I guess it's more than probably half of the whole property. Is there a thought about developing some type of park space there while they're still utilizing the house? Or is it just waiting till end of life and then working with the whole property, or is there any? I guess I'm trying to
I don't know.
understand, is this 10 years, 15, 20 years out, or?
Don't know.
Yeah, cause you look pretty healthy. I mean, I don't think that's coming soon.
That's a
Um,
good question.
I know, and you don't wanna develop something that's surrounded by nothing that you can only go
Yeah.
drive to. You want connection through trails and
Go with
sidewalks and
the neighborhood.
neighborhoods, so.
Right.
I think that's probably the way to go.
It's kind of long term, vision. But I like your point about talking to them about their
Just
vision.
getting their input and even putting something on paper and it can be changed, but just to have like something, you know,
Mhm.
to visualize.
Yeah, and all that stuff helps when we're talking to developers. You know, what they're trying to do
Yeah,
around
like,
it.
oh, if we're
but-
thinking about having a building over here, maybe we should do this, maybe we should or shouldn't do this based on that,
And
just
that view shed preservation piece.
Yeah,
I think
that's
a really,
I think
you're
that's a
saying that that's a really.
big thing that they are very passionate
And
about is having
I am
that.
now too, I just.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
What's interesting, Sarah's big push was to get us to drive into that other driveway, cause she was like, you need to see it from
Yeah.
here, looking west, you need to see it, and I mean, once you do it, you're like, oh yeah, you do,
Especially in June with it, bright
Yeah.
green and
yeah.
snow in the mountains, gorgeous.
Any other tour comments?
I recall in one of our earliest discussions about it, we talked about trails connecting so people could get out there without having to get in the car and drive on the highway or even county roads. So I think that's a really important discussion to continue with developers. As they go in, that isn't the Fickle Farm, that trail should be the beginning of a connection going that direction.
And this is supposed to lay out, I think, who's that plan trail? Who's it through? What that would look like? Could look like this on the back.
What color are
I
we
think the
looking?
red, I think the green is already done. And if you tell from Pioneer Park, there's trails around there, but then the red is what would be newly constructed trails. Which that one is next to a road, so it'd probably be a wide sidewalk.
Do we know what the crossing might look like there at County Line Road? Cause there's two crosses, there's the Nebraska or whatever that will be, Spartan,
I think they're both roundabouts.
those are both roundabouts?
Both can be roundabouts.
Can't remember if they got rid of one of the roundabouts, cause we're putting a roundabout up on 56 as well. I can't remember what the traffic study said, but the initial plats were that those were both roundabouts, yes.
Where is the second roundabout?
Both of these crossings here. That was the initial plan, I can't remember.
So Nebraska and 56.
No, whatever that
So
Farmstead
56
Road or
is,
whatever.
56 is going to be a roundabout now.
Yeah.
And the initial plan for the neighborhood was that Farmstead, the red and the blue, those were both going to be roundabouts, but I seem to remember a meeting a couple months ago where because of some sort of traffic congestion, they had to turn one of them into a signaled intersection, but I can't remember, don't quote me on that. I don't think that makes sense for County Line Road. Or maybe they moved the roundabout to a different street and they're changing the collector road. I just can't remember.
I will say like, we actually I felt like we got lucky today turning out of Newell Farm. But when I was there, it was so busy, I could not turn left out of there.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like I'm very worried about like the safety aspect of just getting in and out of there from 56. Like I had to turn right and then go to the next and do like a UE. But I foresee it only getting busier on 56, so I don't know, like to Carl's point, if there's a different access other than 56 that could get to that.
And the Farmstead section to the east, that big huge giant block, that hasn't come before the board yet. So that's future plating. So those comments are helpful for
Yeah.
when we start kind of figuring out if we can have access from the back of the property to the neighborhood to go out to the
Yes.
roundabout to get in. And
I
then
think
that
would
would,
be nice.
that would also allow some sort of parking area or something like that for events.
Yeah, it was really cool. We have a GIS guy on staff now. So just in like a handful of months, he's able to like combine all our stuff together on a like one map, which is super nice.
Such an
So
important
cool.
staff member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of this stuff has only been presented to staff. Just showing like the most recent, but I mean, they'll come to staff multiple times. To move forward with something. Staff has to make sure it's following all the master plans and design standards and right zoning and all that stuff, and then it can eventually go to the planning commission, I think. And review it. And then it goes to the boards.
Can I ask a question about the agreement with Sarah and is it Butch?
Mhm.
Is the agreement with them, they're tenants of the town, right? Are they allowed to keep operating the venue for the performances, and is that the town's liability? Or that's whole kind of a private business they're operating?
I don't know if they're now connected to our insurance or not. I'm sure they are in some way, because it is town property. They're allowed to live on it. Yeah, sorry, not,
Yeah, I'm not sure of the legal aspect of it, but they have rights for the property even though the town technically owns it. I'm not exactly
So
sure.
part of the agreement
details.
was they'll continue operating the outdoor performance venue.
so. I don't know, earlier, months ago, I saw an email that was like from Sarah, per the agreement, here's the date of the concert. So. Just keeping us posted on what they're doing and. The situation. Cool property. Taking care of it for now.
Beautiful. Any other comments? No? We move on to staff updates.
Okay. The first one, this weekend, we're calling it the grand opening. I don't think there's any speeches going on. I don't think it's anything like that, it's just, we gotta say there's grand opening day, right? I believe there's gonna be some vendors, food trucks are gonna be out there. Larimer County always does a bike safety fair. And I think they used to do it at the rec center. And now it makes sense for them to do it out there too, and just kind of combine it. So you all are invited. I don't think there's a schedule for anything going on. It's just a I don't think there's a ribbon cutting, there's nothing like that.
We can wear our
Grand
shirts.
opening. What's that?
We can wear our shirts.
Yep.
We have flyers. We have flyers.
So y'all can head out there, but it's not like when the rec center opened and there was speeches and all that stuff. If you walk out there, there's gonna be nothing, you're not
You're the-
waiting for an agenda to happen.
Where are they setting up food trucks? On the, like in the parking lot?
They're gonna go back by the pump track, I believe.
Oh.
Access road.
I think they're going back in there, there's gonna be people with a couple tents set up next to the pump track too. I think a couple companies with bike gear or something are gonna be out there. There's a lot of free stuff given away during it. I think it's similar to when the skate event goes on. I've never been to the Skate-A-Palooza either.
Yeah, I've taken my oldest daughter there.
It's
Yeah, it's pretty surprising actually, the Skate-A-Palooza for Berthoud. Yeah, very fun for the kiddos, lots of free stuff like you said, so I'm guessing this will be bigger.
We're trying not to throw a huge bash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
has it been advertised at all or?
I don't know how Stephanie's been advertising.
This,
Facebook probably?
Pedalpalooza,
Pedalpalooza, yeah.
right? Isn't that what they're calling it?
I'm sure she's
It's
been posting
Facebook
it
and
out
all that.
on her social media and stuff. Stephanie's really helping put it all together. We've had some large events asked to come out and do some computational stuff out there, we're trying not to do weekends out there. Until we get more funding. Right now, we don't have that.
Fair warning for anybody who goes out there, there are a lot of ticks.
Really?
Ticks, yeah, like the kids have gone out there, they come home with them on their clothes and, oh yeah. Not you, well, I know, your friends. It's every time we go out there, we come back and find at least one. It's pretty,
From just walking on the trails?
yeah, I mean, I don't go in the grass or in the green, like in the, is it clover up there on the northeast corner there?
It used to be alfalfa stuff, I don't know.
It doesn't look like, I don't know enough about it, but
It's not too bad, but they're out there.
so we had like 6 in one day, so.
That's
I don't know if there's anything you do about it, but it's definitely, I pulled a bunch off my dogs and they're out there.
Maybe we could have a social media post on how to take out a tick.
Yeah, I had to YouTube it. Really good at it.
Other updates, the next board meeting is supposed to be on July 3rd. We hold a town July 3rd fireworks event that night. So do we wanna reschedule? The August meeting is also not good for me to attend, so I guess we gotta figure out July and August. How we wanna handle those. In the past,
No, we normally,
we took July off. I've done that a couple years in a row, I think, because it's landed like right on. But then if we take July off, we'd have to rearrange August. Now, if we wanna see like the cemetery design, I don't know if we need comments back right away on that. I think we're about to get the design back for that, and that'd be something to show in July. So option, do a meeting on the last Wednesday of June. We could do July 10th. Not do August 7th.
agreed. I agree with not doing August 7th.
They were taking maybe August off. Or I don't know, we could just plan August then. It's being better.
So let's wait, okay, so July
July
3rd is
10.
out.
So you're proposing, Keith, do July 10, July 31st, or maybe July 14 as well, or not? Just the 10th or the 31st?
The 10th for me is a no-go. I have a meeting that runs late in Fort Collins, unfortunately. Doesn't mean you can't schedule that day.
Yes.
What about doing July 31st and just
Having that
for
be
both
the
July
July,
and
August.
August?
Works
Why
for
don't we
me.
do that? It'd be in Georgia.
This is true. But we won't be, I mean, you all can have a meeting.
Who's gonna
I
run the
can miss
meeting
that
if you're not here?
Carolyn can run it.
Yeah, I'll probably miss that one too. I'll be flying back that day.
We
So
fly
we'll
back
see.
that day from Georgia.
Yeah,
We don't have to stick to a Wednesday, do we?
Well,
We don't, I just have to figure out who, I know. Go to a board meeting on the 9th and the 23rd.
Do people have issues with the 3rd of July? I'm assuming
yes,
people will have issues with family things.
I'll be volunteering it, 3rd of July.
I have Shelby.
Yeah, I think the town stuff will all probably be pretty shut down for 3rd of July.
And is July 24th out,
Or the
For everybody?
17th?
the 20th or the 17th? And then we could take August off.
I can do the 24th, I can't do the 17th.
I can't do the 7th. I can do the opposite of you.
Well, and I don't think we're gonna, that's why I was saying, if you guys
It's
wanna do
hard
the
to-
31st, I don't, certainly,
Yeah, it's hard.
we're not gonna be able to satisfy everybody,
yeah, I'll be
'cause
honest,
there's
I
so
don't know
much
if it
summer
matters
stuff.
As far as numbers go, but
Different day, like not a Wednesday.
Well, he's gotta figure out there's other committees that use the room and things like that. July 31st is probably a pretty safe bet, cause that's probably the fifth Wednesday in the month, so nobody probably does the fifth Wednesday of the month as their meeting.
I don't think so, I know there's planning. Planning's every 2 Thursdays, is that? I don't know.
The second and fourth Thursday?
Yeah. Alright, you all got, you all can pick.
I mean, do you have things coming up that you need input on?
Probably the cemetery design.
Let's just,
Skowski should be popping up anytime now, I think. Yeah, the first concepts.
the
So
31st.
that's probably something we should. I think that earlier in July we can do that.
What about the 17th? Did
Or what?
anybody
Close. I
weigh
get
in
traffic
on
from
that?
there.
Or what about the earlier
Or
that
if
week,
you're- or if you're-
29th, 30th?
We're in Georgia that whole week,
For you?
until the 31st.
Yes.
29th or 30th? If we were able to move the day to the 29th or 30th?
Oh, no, 29th, no,
Mine-
yeah, I'll be gone, I'll
Okay.
be fully out of state then, yeah, turn on the
Like the week of July 8th. Like 10th.
July.
Oh, like the 10th, is
Yeah.
that what you're saying? I could do the 10th.
I will be out the 10th, but that's fine.
The 8th's also available.
What about the 8th? Did you say that's available?
I think so.
8th or 10th?
I may be able to make it remote on the 8th, I'm flying out that day.
Yeah, the 10th, that was the day I said I have a meeting that runs late, so 8th would be my preference too.
What about Thursday? Can anybody do
I can't
Thursday?
do Thursday, I'm leaving for Wyoming. At night.
Is there a reason I couldn't do the 8th?
July
No, you could do
1st.
the 8th. I can't. 'Cause I can't.
July 1st.
I could do that remote.
July 1st?
You think the cemetery extension will be up for our input that soon?
Yeah, I can make the first as well.
Everyone good?
I'm hearing the 1st.
Is that it, July 1st, and nothing in August?
I'd be okay with nothing at all. If something pops up, I can let you know in July. We can talk about August, July 1st if you want.
Sure, sounds good.
July 1st, 6 p.m.
And I will be remote.
I may be remote.
Okay,
And then no August meeting
for now.
for now.
Unless something pops up.
Okay.
Scouts coming. We can make it happen.
Okay, is that it for staff updates?
That'd be it. That's it.
To committee updates? Audrey, anything from youth advisory?
Ally? I actually had a question for Audrey and Youth Advisory, because I wasn't here at the last meeting and I was impressed to see y'all were doing your own survey about pool amenities.
I don't think we ended up doing it, but we did have questions for questions we were
Okay, well, that was my question about how was that forward, who's getting the results or,
We did not do that, I don't think. I think those questions instead were, those questions were gonna be used for both like us making something and if you guys wanted to add it in, but we didn't end up making a survey.
okay, all right, thanks. That was all from me.
Nothing from you? Oh, nothing from you?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. I just wanted to comment, so I know we saw some of the sidewalk progress on, I think Welch, is it,
Mhm.
today? I also this weekend saw a lot of progress on the sidewalks in like Old Town area, so I just wanted to say awesome job, they look really good,
Good,
so.
it's good, it's going pretty smooth
Yeah.
now, people are realizing sidewalks and ADA changes and they're getting it and when you change someone's driveway to a rollover, it's going a lot smoother than it used to. So it's good. Yeah, that's good. This contractors seem, it's been very nice to work with too. So.
Just a question, I don't know if this is the right place to ask, but the bike park seating, I was just curious about that. Been riding it a bit and just noticing that I don't think I see much coming in other than weeds. So I was just curious about kind of those interstitial spaces between the trails.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely all got seeded.
yeah,
Definitely didn't all take.
yeah,
So
yeah.
probably get hit again later in the year, I think.
Okay, is there, that was really the
Yeah.
question, is
We'll
there a
just
plan
keep
in the
on
fall?
it.
Yeah,
Keep seeding it, yeah. Got no irrigation's pretty tough.
yeah, and it's tough too, but I think a lot of folks seed a little too early in the fall and maybe a little too late in the spring. So I don't know if that was an issue at all, I don't know when it actually happened last year, but
I think we got it in September last year.
yeah, pretty early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got like a temp of moisture and then it just dried up for like 2 weeks, which is good.
Yeah.
So it's surprising like what areas that did take, like.
Yeah.
Like why did that spot take over there?
What are you using, like a grass mix or something?
Yeah, the guy comes in and I don't know if they call it drill seeding or whatever, but they try to get it down in there.
Yeah, just a recommendation, I work with Lambert County a lot and their land stewardship manager and typically for us when we're seeding in the vicinity here on the reservoirs and stuff like that, wanna wait until like mid-November to put seed
Oh,
down.
wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Cause we've had, when we did the rec center, we had November seeding take 0.
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and again, I don't know the seed mix, but for a lot of like the native mixes we'll use and some of the prairie mixes that we'll use, it's ideal to kind of go in that
Okay,
November space. So I,
just do a nice
Grain of salt.
dormant.
yeah, grain of salt, yeah, I'm not the
Got it.
expert, but that's just experience.
Got it, I know.
Yeah,
That's good. I know we had some take, I haven't walked in it, so I know the
great
weeds are
park,
great.
great park, but not much seed is taken. No, there's some alfalfa, there's some, there's some of the old farm, yeah, definitely it's popping out there, but a lot of weeds.
Cool, alright,
Thanks.
I'll talk to Paul about it.
Yeah, I have a couple things. For the bike track, there's some additions being made in the next year or so. They're gonna add a kids pump track. Apparently there's been some issue. There hasn't been an injury. I don't know what that was about.
There was
but-
definitely an injury.
But the little kids are kind of going on the pump track and just the adults are also on the pump track at the same time.
Yeah,
So they're gonna add a kids pump track that's gonna be a little dirt section right next door so that they can kind of putz around and do their thing. And then either I think this year, some shade structures are gonna be put in out there.
Great.
So that should be good for spectators. Second thing was the Arboretum designs have officially started. At Bertha Days, everyone was getting the designs that you guys saw. But the company that is actually gonna do the official designs has started working on those, so those should be updating as they finish certain sections.
Yep, so this is, and that's, the important part is the conceptual design, or it's moving to construction designs, right? And that's where you figure out, okay, did the design, conceptually design really, does it work? That's when changes and stuff start to happen, so. Yeah, they've been out there doing soil samples, they're gonna drill some wells and things like that.
I guess, do you guys have any questions that you would like me to bring up? The main one I have is a question about the trail on the west side of Heron Lakes, what's going on with that? And then I'll contact the scouts and get that at least information moving around.
Okay.
So anything from me?
No, I think my thing with the Heron Lakes was just knowing what the property is in there. Because that was something that really stuck from what they were saying at the last port committee meeting was we have all this land, we bought this open space in there and we're not, you know, and so I wanted to have a better understanding of what that was. So just kind of understanding what that open space is and what the implications are for if we have open space in there that's accessible and usable as recreational space. And then we gate the community, then is that what those implications are? I'm sure that'll be a long meeting, so.
And just lastly, promote the survey, keep pushing it out, talking about it, get people to do it, so. They've been mailed out, they typically want the stuff back within 10 days, and that kind of closes the invite portion. And then on the 14th, the open portion will start. So we'll probably start getting the results back in July too, so.
Right after our meeting.
So that lends to having an August meeting possibly.
Look at, so. These are always popping up. So, no, it's good, that, we all think it's a really good survey that's going out, so. And it's good to hear, we're already at 300, which was the goal. Good survey.
How long since you guys, it's only been, what, 10 days, 2 weeks?
I think they started mailing out last Thursday.
Less than, so it was only a week, okay, yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
recent.
today, there's a little drop today, only 14 people submit, but it's weird, I get the online one, just like, I just have a link where I can see up to date how the online ones were turned in, I don't get any results.
Can I just bring up a point about the surveys that was discussed at our, when we were on the tour? It was mentioned that using the passcode twice was able to happen. So that is concerning if the goal was to get one per household. So I don't know if that's something you can check with
I
the
can, yeah.
survey folks, just to make sure there's no double, or if they can remove doubles, or just accept one per household somehow.
I can check that. See how that works. Yeah, only 14 submitted today. It's Wednesday, Friday, I guess.
Yeah, a week, I mean, that's great in a week. I barely checked my mail, so I figured it had been sitting there for a while.
That's all I have.
Alright. A motion to adjourn the meeting.
A motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
Meeting adjourned.
I don't check my mail either. I'm gonna check it when I get home.